What's going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Sandhagen versus Figgy just wrapped up. Well, not just wrapped up. Sorry I couldn't get the video out earlier. I was busy. I'm still busy. Got a busy week ahead of me, so we're gonna keep this one short. Let's get straight into it. Juliana Miller beats Ivana Petrovic. I get my pick wrong mid-fight. Let's move on to the next one. Dontel Mays versus Thomas Peterson. This was a pretty easy pick. Thomas Peterson goes in there, uses his elite level wrestling. Mays can't defend any takedowns. Just gets ragdolled by Peterson, and yeah, good win. He wins a 30-26 unanimous decision. I thought 30-26 was pretty fair. Mays didn't really have any success, and Peterson just ragdolled him. So yeah, get my pick right. Let's move on to the next fight. Ilia Topuria gets submitted by Quang Lee in the second round. Yeah, man, sucks to see a guy go from being undefeated, knocking out Max Holloway and Volk, to just moving down to bantamweight, and he's just cooked. Yeah, Quang Lee gets the submission in round two. I get my pick wrong. Realistically, enough jokes. I thought Gaston Bolaños was going to be able to keep this on the feet long enough to do damage with the striking. Bolaños is a good striker, but I don't know. I don't know if he's really UFC worthy. He just doesn't look that good when he faces actual good people. Like obviously Marcus McGee beat the shit out of him. Marcus McGee is ranked, so no shame in that. Quang Lee is an unranked fighter who was 0-2 in the UFC before this. So I just let you know Quang Lee bit on the lower level side. Bolaños can get past this guy, but nope. Gaston Bolaños is just not that good. So yeah. Quang Lee gets the second round submission, and I get my pick wrong. So, yeah. Let's move on to the next fight. Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. I picked Jillian Robertson by decision. She gets it done by TKO. Jillian Robertson has a lot of finishes. I think after this, she tied Amanda Nunes for most finishes in women's history, which is pretty impressive, man. Jillian Robertson, very good finisher. A lot of TKOs, a lot of submissions. And, we need that in WMMA right now because it's looking a bit stale. But there's a few people on the come up right now, Jillian Robertson being one of them, that are actually getting finishes and, being really entertaining. So, who knows? Maybe Jillian Robertson versus Zhang Wei Li is a fight that interests us in the future, but I don't know. Zhang Wei Li, I just don't see her losing. So, yeah, who knows though? Maybe Jillian Robertson can beat some more of these top guys. I think next for Jillian Robertson, I want to see I don't know. I'm pretty sure Jessica Andrade is fighting Jasmine Jasudavicius at 315, so maybe the loser of that can fight Jillian Robertson. I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, Jillian Robertson gets the win. I get my pick right. Let's move on to the next one. Azamat Bekaev versus Ryan Loder. I don't know what it is about Azamat Bekaev. I just can't stand this guy. Genuinely, I just hate this guy. I actually hate this guy so much. He's so I don't know, he's so annoying to look at and watch fight. He just goes in there, spams left and right hooks, and just somehow keeps catching these guys. It's actually annoying. He's gonna lose eventually, and I'm gonna keep picking against him. Unless he faces a can next, like fucking Jimmy Crute or some shit. That's light heavyweight. Who's a middleweight can? Cody Brundage. If he fights Cody Brundage next, he probably beats Brundage. But yeah. Azamat Bekaev gets the win. KO's Ryan Loder in the first round. Ryan Loder, man, was actually a good prospect, good wrestling, good ground and pound, but Azamat Bekaev just goes in there, spams left and right hooks, and eventually catches Loder and puts him out. So yeah, Bekaev wins. He is a pretty decent striker. He has good power. He's going to go far in middleweight because middleweight's kind of mid. If this guy was in any other division, he would have got chinned with a counter. This dude isn't good. Go watch his LFA fights. He's not good. This guy was having a competitive back and forth fight with Chauncey Foxworth in the LFA, who was 19-10. I promise you, Azamat Bekaev is not good. These are all fluke KOs. I swear. No. This isn't even a joke. I swear these are all fluke KOs. He's gonna get this guy's gonna get 30-22'd by Shara. I swear. But yeah, anyways, he wins the fight. I get my pick wrong. I'm gonna cope. It is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. Yana Santos versus Misha Tate. I picked Yana Santos to win by decision. She gets it done by decision. Misha Tate is washed. I'm not gonna lie. She went out there. First round, she was trying to be super aggressive, throw a bunch of shit, getting Yana Santos' face, but wasn't really working. Couldn't really find much success. Eventually did find the takedown later in the fight, but Santos was defending good, outstriking her on the feet, and wins a decision. So yeah, Yana Santos gets it done. Let's move on to the next fight. Jeremy Stephens versus Mason Jones. I picked Mason Jones by TKO in the first round. He gets it done by 30-27 decision. Just pieces up Jeremy Stephens, outgrapples him. Stephens didn't really have much in this fight, but it was a pretty sick fight for the first two rounds. They were just striking, slugging it out. Mason Jones was just piecing him up, throwing head kicks, 1-2s, piecing him up. Jeremy Stephens would land the occasional right hand, which kind of rocked Mason Jones. So yeah, Stevens' power looked there and his boxing looked all right, but I don't know, man. This is what happens when you do a bunch of bare knuckle fights, then come back to an MMA fight. Couldn't defend takedowns to save his life. Didn't know what to do with the kicking game. Just looked so uncomfortable when he threw his own kicks. And yeah, Jeremy Stevens just got outclassed by a better fighter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he also tied the record in the UFC for most losses now, which is 19. So, I mean, not tied, broke the record. He now has the record for most losses in the UFC. So, yeah, unfortunate. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, Mason Jones gets it done. Mason Jones is really good. He's tough. He grits it out. He goes in there, throws everything. And dude, he's good, man. He's good. Schools Jeremy Stevens. I know Jeremy Stevens is not that good, especially nowadays. Fucking bare knuckle guy. But yeah, Mason Jones gets it done. It's a good name to have on the resume. And yeah, welcome back to the UFC, Mason Jones. Hopefully he does good moving forward because he is a pretty good prospect. So yeah, Mason Jones gets it done. Let's move on to the next fight. Cameron Smotherman versus Surrey City. I picked Smotherman by TKO in the first round. City looks a little bit chinny in his fights, and Smotherman has good power, but couldn't find the power shots. City gets it done. This fight was okay. There was some decent striking. It was pretty technical, but other than that, not much. Yeah, Surrey City gets it done. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see either of these guys being too good. I don't see either of these guys being top 10. Maybe they can reach like the very end of like the top 15. Maybe, if some people get kicked out, maybe Surrey City can find his way in there. He's got a good frame for the division, but I don't know, man. Neither of these guys are top 10 worthy. I don't even know if either of these guys are top 15 worthy. They just don't look that good. They're technical, they're decent, but I don't know. I just think they're going to be some good tough outs in the unranked area for the majority of their career. So yeah, Surrey City gets it done. Let's move on to the next one. Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. I'm really glad they didn't rob Montel. Daniel Marcos has been in some bad decisions in his career, which has led to him staying undefeated. Should have lost to Davy Grant. Arguably should have lost to Adrian Yanez. But yeah, finally takes his first loss. Thankfully, Daniel Marcos is one of the worst undefeated fighters in the UFC. He's solid. He's going to be a solid tough out in the unranked area, just like Surrey City and Cameron Smotherman. I think next, a good fight actually, Daniel Marcos versus Surrey City would be interesting. But yeah, Montel Jackson gets it done. Montel Jackson's good. He's got really slick striking. He was trying to take Daniel Marcos' head off the entire fight, and Marcos just wasn't having it on the feet. He was trying to take him down the entire time, smudge him. Montel even had some grappling advantages of his, Montel had some grappling moments of his own. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, Montel had grappling moments, and he was just way better on the feet. And he pieces up Daniel Marcos and wins the decision. So yeah, good win for Montel Jackson. I will never forgive you for KOing my boy Damon Blackshear like that, but hey, Montel's good. He wins the fight. Next for Montel Jackson. He's in the rank. He's obviously going to fight someone in the rankings. He's obviously going to fight up. He's on a good streak. Just took out a undefeated prospect. And I think next for Montel Jackson, who's a good name in the rankings that he could fight. I'd like to see like a Montel Jackson versus a Rob Font. I think that could be really interesting. Montel Jackson versus Rob Font. Maybe like a Montel Jackson versus Let me think. Montel Jackson versus if Mario Batista loses to Chito Vera, you could do Batista versus Jackson. If Ayman Zahabi, actually no, this could be a good match. When Ayman Zahabi loses to Jose Aldo at 315, you could do Montel Jackson, Ayman Zahabi. Yeah, those are all three good matchups for Montel. I like Montel Jackson. Not really. He KO'd my boy Damon Blackshear, but hey, it happens. Yeah, Montel Jackson gets it done. Let's move on to the next fight. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. I picked Ponzi. I get the pick wrong. D-Rod KOs him in the third round. Yeah, I don't know. Ponzinibbio is winning this fight. Daniel Rodriguez was going to lose the decision, in my opinion, but catches him in the third round. Ponzinibbio fights are so random. There's always just a random KO, but yeah. Ponzinibbio, man. His chin might be gone. He's been getting cracked a lot recently. I know he's always been kind of chinny, but he's looking even more chinny than he was before. Like, come on. D-Rod sleeping you? Come on, man. Anyways, good win for D-Rod. There were some good striking exchanges in this fight. D-Rod's boxing looked pretty good. Ponzinibbio was being wild, aggressive. There was like a weird slip in the first round, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I haven't rewatched anything, but it sounded like there was I think I remember. Why can't I fucking talk? I think I remember there being like some weird slip thing in the first round. I don't know. Yeah, pretty much just a fun back and forth boxing match. Ponzinibbio tried some takedowns, couldn't really get them. Ponzinibbio was winning the fight in my opinion until the D-Rod KO. So, yeah, D-Rod gets it done. Let's move on to the next fight. Rainer DeRitter versus Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel, high level wrestler. He's gonna take him down. He's more athletic. He's a better athlete. Bo Nickel's gonna take him down, man.
Rainer DeRitter just beat the fuck out of Bo Nickel and finished him. And out-grappled him. Holy shit. Rainer DeRitter is the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you. Rainer DeRitter is next up. Rainer DeRitter is insanely good. I was telling people this, man. This is a bit of a mismatch. Right? Bo Nickel, a guy with 7 professional fights, who has just picked up striking in MMA like a couple years ago, was pretty much just a wrestler, versus Rainer DeRitter, who is a 20-2 MMA fighter, former 1FC double champion, 2 weight classes, middleweight and light heavyweight. He's a massive dude for the division. His only 2 losses are to Anatoly Malikin, who is a former 1FC triple champion, current 1FC double champ. Insane. Comes over to the UFC. I knew he was going to beat Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel just doesn't have the experience. And now, it's not just the experience that he lacks. He doesn't have that dog in him. Bo Nickel isn't a scrapper. When he faces adversity, we now know this about Bo Nickel. When he faces adversity, he crumbles pretty easily. Like those shots that were hurting Bo Nickel against the fence. Most fighters would just like laugh at that. That's stalling in most fights. But to Bo Nickel, he's wincing, clinching up. Now, to be fair, the step-in knee that DeRitter finished Bo Nickel with was nasty. That would finish like most people in the division. Like, Bo Nickel threw he threw like a right hand and leaned right into the knee that DeRitter launched, and it was a heavy knee, and that's a big dude to take a knee from. DeRitter's like 230 pounds, or like I'm pretty sure. I remember seeing something at 311 where Yuri Prohaska, who fights at light heavyweight, was 208 pounds in the cage. Now, granted, Yuri's a kind of small light heavyweight, but still. Rainer DeRitter against Kevin Holland was like 223 pounds or something like that. He is a massive middleweight. He's also 6'4". So, yeah, he's a big middleweight. He just looked so much bigger than Bo Nickel in there. Bullied him in the clinch. Damaged him with knees. Bo Nickel did get a takedown and have him down for a bit, but then jumped to submission and DeRitter just reversed it. You're not going to submit Rainer DeRitter. That's just not happening. Rainer DeRitter is so goofy, man. Like, dude, I'm just so happy that Bo Nickel got fraud checked. I just don't like Bo Nickel. He's so, like, he's such an NPC. Like, he's actually such a bot. Like, seriously. I was picking berries in the mountains when Dana called me. You know, like, dude, the Dutch Knight, Rainer DeRitter, gets it done. This guy's a serious problem. I think next for Rainer DeRitter, I want to see Rainer DeRitter take on either Jared Cannonier or Brendan Allen next. One of those two. I don't think he gets a top 5 guy yet. But if he beats either like a Jared Cannonier or like a Brendan Allen or who else is up there in the rankings? Maybe like a Paulo Costa. Is he still even ranked? Probably, which he shouldn't be. He'd fucking yeah. Anyways, if he beats like a Brendan Allen next or like a Jared Cannonier next, then he should get a top 5 guy. Rainer DeRitter's really good. I think he's a top 5 fighter in this division. I think he smokes Adesanya and Strickland. Probably smokes Whitaker too. I think he gives Kyle Borralho and Hamza and Amavov all serious problems. I think he causes some issues for DDP. RDR versus we need RDR versus DDP. I'm just going to say that right now. Rainer DeRitter versus DDP has to happen. This is the fight that everyone wants to see. Rainer DeRitter versus Dricus du Plessis. Give Rainer DeRitter Jared Cannonier. Let him finish Jared Cannonier. After he finishes Jared Cannonier, give him like a fucking, I don't know. Give him someone in the top 5, like an Adesanya if he's ready to come back. If he really wants to do one last dance. I don't want to see that. I'm not gonna lie. This guy would do terrible things to Adesanya. Give him like a Whitaker or something, or like a Strickland, I guess, something like that. And then after he beats a top 5 guy, he's right there in line for a title shot against Dricus du Plessis. His 1FC credentials enough. His 1FC credentials and the fact that he's a former double champ over there gives him some leeway. He doesn't need to go on a 10-fight win streak to get to the belt like some people do. I think submitting Kevin Holland, finishing Bo Nickel, who is a hyped up prospect, then if he like beats Cannonier pretty comfortably and then beats a Strickland, That's enough to get a title shot on middleweight, in my opinion. So yeah, Rainer DeRitter, hopefully he gets there. I like Rainer DeRitter, fuck with him heavy. And hopefully he doesn't have to fight Fluffy next, because I think this guy would fucking TKO Fluffy in the first round, and I like Fluffy. My bad, that was random. I just don't want to see Fluffy die. But yeah, as for Bo Nickel, give him Shara in the Apex. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the main event. Yeah, Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo. Yeah, Sandhagen looked good in this fight. He was putting more stain on his kicks and his punches. He was throwing volume. He was mixing it up. Every time they went to the ground, Sandhagen was trying to reverse stuff, throwing ground and pound, um, attacking the legs. Figgy went for some leg locks himself, which aged horribly, if you know where this is going. But yeah, eventually, they kind of scramble a bit. Sandhagen gets a takedown of his own. Sandhagen just looked really good. He was taking down Figgy, out grappling him, ground and pounding him, out striking him. He was just outclassing Figgy in every aspect of MMA, which is what I expected to happen. I picked Sandhagen by 49-46 schooling. So yeah, Sandhagen gets it done. He gets it done by second round TKO kind of thing, injury, submission, whatever. They end up in like a leg lock battle, and Sandhagen gets the better of it. He turns over and just decides he's gonna snap Figgy's knee. So yeah, snaps Figgy's knee. Figgy taps, and he gets the win by TKO in the second round. Good win for Corey Sandhagen. He's next for a title shot. Like, who else are you gonna give it to? I'm seeing some people say Piotr Jan is next. I know Piotr Jan beat Corey Sandhagen like 7,000 years ago, but like, dude, since the Sandhagen Jan fight, look at where both their careers have been. Jan is 2-3 since the Sandhagen fight. Went on a 3-fight losing streak, and has since been on a 2-fight win streak. So 3-2. And Sandhagen, since the Jan fight, has been 4-1. His only loss being to Umar Nurmagomedov, who just fought for the belt. So like, 2 wins, 3 losses in his last 5 fights, versus 4 wins, 1 loss in his last 5 fights. That right there just shows Sandhagen has been doing a lot better in his career. You could argue, Jan was fighting higher levels of opposition. Fought O'Malley, Marab, and who else did he lose to in that? Aljo. But at the same time, it's not like Sandhagen was fighting bums. Fought Rob Font, Cheeto Vera, and Song Yadong. Doctor Stoppage Song Yadong. That's pretty impressive. That's a win that's aging well. Yeah, I don't know. The Jan fight was more than 5 fights ago for both these guys. I think that's out of the picture now. That fight was like, what, in 2021, I think? 2020, something like that? And since then, Jan has had 2 wins, 3 losses. Sandhagen has had 4 wins, 1 loss. And again, just that right there just shows Sandhagen has been doing better in his career recently. More deserving of a title shot, in my opinion. Both of them just beat Figgy in their last 2 fights. This is another thing I want to add. Sandhagen's win over Figgy is so much more impressive. Yes, I know Jan 50-45 Figgy. You could argue Figgy took a few rounds, but like, he had moments against Jan. Had moments where he was landing good shots on Jan. Had some grappling moments. Dropped Jan at one point. Figgy had nothing against Sandhagen. He just got pieced up on the feet, taken down, and submitted. Basically, that's basically what happened in this fight. Like, Sandhagen looks so good. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna repeat it all again. Since the Jan fight, which was more than 5 fights ago for both these guys, their last 5 fights, Jan has went 2-3, 2 wins, 3 losses. Sandhagen has went 4-1, 4 wins, 1 loss, only losing to Umar, former title challenger, just fought for the belt. And both of them just beat Figgy in their last fight. Sandhagen did it way more impressively. Jan took him to a decision, got dropped, faced some adversity in that fight. Sandhagen schooled him, took him down, and submitted him within 2 rounds. Like, dude, Sandhagen is undoubtedly more deserving than Jan. I think Jan should fight Umar in a number 1 contender fight. Sandhagen should fight next for the belt. And the loser of the belt should fight maybe like an up-and-comer like Song Yadong or something. Plus, not to mention that Sandhagen versus O'Malley or Marab are both fresh matchups, whereas with Jan, we've seen those before, and he lost to both of them. So, not much interest there. But yeah, Sandhagen's more deserving. If you disagree with that, I don't know how you can disagree with that. 4 wins, 1 loss in his last 5 fights. Beat Figgy more impressively. And it's a fresh matchup for both the title contenders right now. Versus Jan, who is 2-3, 2 wins, 3 losses in his last 5. Got 50-45 by the current champ. Lost to the guy that's fighting the current champ. And beat Figgy, but not as impressively. So, yeah. if that doesn't tell you Sandhagen's more deserving, then I don't know what does. But anyways, yeah, let's move on to the official recap. 7-12 on picks. I got both my lock picks right. Mason Jones and Corey Sandhagen. Fight of the night, Jeremy Stevens, Mason Jones. That was a sick matchup. Fun fight. Best finish, definitely DeRitter versus Nickel. Could have done better on picks, but I don't know. I feel like most people did kind of mid on this card. It was a pretty weird card for picks, but hey, 7-12, still above 50%, still happy with that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next video. Peace.